Come get ready with me for work. I am doing a look with purples with the new Chanel products I have, starting with the Tatcha Silk Sunscreen SPF. I love this as a sunscreen and a primer, so fantastic. Then I'm going to use my tried and true Louboutin matte or radiant matte foundation. It's a little bit too orange, too warm, so I'm cutting the warmth with a little bit of the e.l.f. blue color corrector, and it ends up just being a really great olive undertone foundation, but not too warm. And I'm using my favorite foundation brush, or one of my favorite foundation brushes. This is BK Beauty, and this is such a great foundation. I use this often a lot for work or when I'm having a really long day. It's just one of my favorites in a long time. I always prep my eyes with the Chanel Gel Yeux, and it just adds another layer of moisture for my eye makeup. And I let that sit for a while, and then I'm priming here my eyelids with Hourglass primer. And then when I don't have much time, I always grab the Jones Road eyebrow pencil. It's not super accurate, but it gets the job done. And then I always run a brush through my eyebrows. And after that gel has sit for a while, I'm going to put some color corrector on. This is the Natasha Denona C4 color corrector, and I really like to use my hands. I'm using now the Fenty concealer, We're Evens concealer, 2 colors, 315W, closest to my eye, and then the darker circles for brightening, 310W. I love this combination. It's a pretty light concealer, so I love it. This is the Westman Atelier Pink Bubble under eye, or just like a powder. I think it's like a light powder, the silky powder, and it's nice. It doesn't replace my Holy Grail Pat McGrath, the under eye powder, but it's less drying and it shows less line. It looks definitely more natural, so I'm really enjoying it. Then I'm grabbing my Sisley Matte 2 powder, loose powder, just to kind of set the foundation since I have oily skin. I'm using my brushes. The Surratt was for the Westman Atelier. It's a grande brush. And this is a Chikuhodo brush from Beautylish, the Lunar New Year one. Now I'm using the Victoria Beckham Bronzing Brick. It's a contour and bronzer in one. It's the shade 03, and I'm using my Sonia G Niji Pro brush. This is probably one of my favorite matte bronzers / contours. Next up, we're going to contour because I'm extra that way, grabbing my Kevyn Aucoin contour in the shade Deep, and then I'm using my Lotus series angled brush and pinching the ferrule, and I just like to add a little extra depth on the outer parts for the contouring my nose, under my jawline, and I prefer actually powder contour to. Next up, I'm using my new Chanel Le Beige Healthy Glow Sun-Kissed Powder in medium coral. I know I used the matte bronzer already, but there's a luminosity to this bronzer, so I want to keep layering it because it tends to be a little bit light. Now I'm going into the coral blush, and you can see I actually put a little bit too much there, and where you lay it down first is where it's most pigmented. So I'm just kind of moving the product around a little bit, and I have to fix that in a bit, and just buffing the rest. I'm finding with this palette, it's best to use squirrel hair brushes. So I buffed out that coral a little bit because it was too intense. And now I'm going in with the highlighter with a squirrel hair brush. And I use a smaller brush usually for my highlighter because I just don't want it to go too much all over my face. And that way it's just a very subtle sheen. Now I'm using the new Chanel Ombre Essentiel in the shade Brune Telpa. It's a beautiful taupe. It runs a little bit more cool and light. What I love about these single shadows from Chanel is that they're very elegant, and they just don't add extra lines or texture to my eyelids. And then I'm using the color Lilas Poudre, basically the lilac one, over my mobile lid. And again, what I really love about these powders, this is the matte formula for the lilac one. It doesn't add any extra texture. So now I'm grabbing my Chanel Silk Infused eyeliner and believing this is the one that's a little bit purple mauve, and I'll link all the details of the makeup I used below my description box and my affiliate links. I love to use this as a base before I use any liquid liner. And then next I'm going to use my favorite line liners, liquid liners. This is the Surratt Autographique liner in the color purple. And because I'm using you know, purple color theme here, I thought using a liquid liner on top of the silk eyeliner would make the eyeliner look last longer. And that's something I do because I have oily lids. Sometimes I have to really layer my makeup, especially with liquid liner around my eyes. And I just love, this is my favorite liquid liner. Now I'm loving this Lisa Eldridge Kitten Lash Mascara. It surprised me. I thought I was gonna like the eyeliner more, but I've been using this mascara nonstop. It's good for my bottom lashes and my top lashes, and it's a really great everyday mascara. It's not too dramatic. It just enhances my eyelashes without looking too cakey. That's what I love about this. It's like my eyelashes get fluttery and just elongated, and it's really easy to take off at the end of the day. I think that's the biggest thing. Sometimes with mascara, it can get really cakey, and that I'm struggling a lot to take it off at night. But that's really wonderful, that mascara. And then I'm going in with my favorite coral lipstick. This is the Lisa Eldridge Luxuriously Lucent Je ne sais quoi. It's this beautiful pink coral color that shows up on my lips in that pinky coral way. It's so beautiful with this look. So a kind of like a lilac coral look I have going here, and just showing you the products and the two of the eyeshadows from Chanel that I used, the Brune Talpa and the Lilac Poudre, and the Chanel Le Beige powder and medium coral. I had lost some of that medium coral blush when I buffed it out, so I'm just adding a little bit more. And it looks so pretty, this whole look. I'm really happy. And here is the final look. And I forget to use my inner corner highlight, and I've been using that Chanel Essential Ombre Essential in the Jade Facette, and it's beautiful duochrome. It's so pretty. I just think this is a really beautiful spring summer look. I'm just really happy with the three colors I picked for the eyeshadows. And I wanted to do a really quick swatch of the Brune Talpa on top and then the DIOR Beige Mitza. And you can see the DIOR Mitza is definitely warmer. Finished my look of today for work. I am running so late, but I wanted to show you the look I had. I'm actually turning a little bit too warm. The foundation I have, it's a little bit, runs a little bit warmer than I want, but I help that balance that out with corrector. Either way, I wanted to show you, I have all of the Chanel eyeshadows that I bought on my eyes. I love this Brune Talpa, and a lot of people are like, oh, it's very similar to Beige Mitza, and it is. Let me do a swatch for you here. What I like about this is that it's a little bit more understated, and for me, because it's a little bit more understated, it's a little bit easier to use in different ways. And I just like my makeup a little bit more subtle. So you can see Beige Mitza is a little bit more brown. It has more body, and the Brune Talpa from Chanel it's a little bit lighter. It's a little bit more gray. So the one on top is Chanel, and then DIOR. So Chanel is a little bit more silver, where Brune Mitza or Beige Mitza is more brown. It has more body. But the thing what I like about the Brune Talpa is that because it's a little bit cooler and a little bit less body, it's a little bit easier for me to use as a layer. Now, if I wanted to use the
beige mitzvah, I could definitely use that and kind of zhuzh up at least the outer V. That's what it's good for. I mean, it's a great one and done. It's like one of my favorite one and dones. What I'm saying is that I actually like that I have both, because sometimes this can get really too intense for me really quickly for what I need. So you can see how like that added just like a lot more depth really quickly, not in a bad way, but it's just, for me, this is easier to control. And that's what I'm finding with these Chanel singles, is that they're so easy to use. Like, they're so fuss free, and it doesn't show any creasing. So one thing I am testing is the wear time. So I'm going to test this out today. I do have one other purple, which is a dupe. It's the Sydney Grace Mel Thompson purple that I have, but this one's a little bit more subtle. It's more, I would say it's like a little bit more subtle, a little more elegant. And I did pop some of that green shade in the middle, or in a corner. So that's Chanel on my eyes. And then I have the medium coral on my cheeks. Super pretty. I am getting to like this one more. At first I was not so keen on it, and I think it's because I expected this to be a little bit warm, but now I just had to figure out how to use it. It's just, it looks warmer or deeper in the pan than it actually looks. Can you see? It's not, it's just lighter. And these are not flat mattes. These are just definitely a little shimmer in there, but it has to be buildable, so it turns a little bit red, which I wasn't expecting. So I'm just learning how to use this medium coral better, but I'm really enjoying it, and I think this is such a pretty look. So it's coral, and then I decided I had to put my favorite summer lipstick on. This is Je ne sais quoi by Lisa Eldridge. Oh my god, I love this color. And I lined it with just like a brownish liner, Sorcery. So that is my final look for today. Let me know what you think. Beautiful spring coral fuchsia look.